This video is intended to describe a light blade talisman named LOVEShine. Based off the LOVEShine platform, a tried and true, well-tested platform in distribution with great success for its achieved goal. The primary blade banding I will start off with kunzite and pink rose quartz. The combination of this pink ray induction is the primary focus of this energy broadcast in a closed loop circuit, so the kunzite aspect has a high lithium concentration base, which brings a very soothing nature to the entire auric field. And yes, I'll be utilizing my crude chakra map for visual cue references. So kunzite is a very powerful pink ray heart stimulation, soothing frequency based on its lithium construct within the matrix itself, which brings a very whole pink ray soothing love vibration as the primary focus through the auric field. In tandem with rose quartz, the famous pink ray stone of great commonality, thank goodness, in the realms of creation, due to its effective nature of aligning the high heart of divinity. So when you take these two in focus as a subcapacitation between the kunzite and rose quartz igniting the sequence like so, it perpetuates a very powerful pink ray love activation throughout the entire circuit in a soothing and stimulating format. So continuing along this main primary blade band, going into the transmutation blade band ratio. This ignition sequence consists of smoky quartz and hematite in ignition, like so, up the side right here, and closing the circuit with the subtle band up here, then redirecting down here. Both of these frequencies are set on brass to be the positive output, and silver the negative input, or even just quite simply negative and projective, positive, negative polarity opposites. Smoky quartz is a very powerful stone for transmuting negativity into positivity due to the fact that it takes all stray energies, like kind of think of it as spiritual Teflon or etheric composting capacity, to take all radial stray energies and come into the auric field, make a bypass, clear it, then also most importantly get it through the root chakra, into the earth stars, and then once again into the earth meridian matrix for reprocessing. So that causes a constant dispersion ground to always ensure the excess energy is always going into the earth for reprocessing, kind of like the carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide process. In tandem with hematite being an iron-based mineral in conjunction with the smoky quartz, strongly grounds all the excess radial energy firmly through the root chakra, once again into the earth stars, the chakras beneath the feet, and grounds it firmly into the earth meridian matrix. So that aspect of the transmutation ratio is quite essential for turning negative energy into positive energy by a constant ground point to Mother Earth. To always have a safe bypass, a safe ground arc, if you would, to be the perfect contingency to ensure that the energy is getting through the system for a perpetually flowing field in process and connection with the earth plane. So that'd be just this circuit right here, continuing like so. At the very apex up here is a lovely green ray apex band, where this actually will be what the necklace hangs into, of course. Starting with prehnite, a very lovely third and fourth chakra activation frequency that is of the water and earth spectrum frequency elements corresponding. And it makes a very lovely soothing to the third and fourth, and most importantly also makes a very soothing heart emanation that also grounds all excess energy into the earth plane. That regard. Widely acclaimed to be the stone for the healer that heals the healers. Also, very relevant in my R&D, if you would, is that it is a perfect analog frequency to the realm of Raphael the Archangel, the green Clohan master healer archangelic force close to creation. So having the analog attunement frequency to the great healer obviously is self-evidently rather advantageous to have as a passive format program. Then transitioning into clear quartz to be a programmable accelerant. So you can think of the clear quartz, of course, being a very neutral program that can hold a charge or an intention of the wielder of this device, and also accelerate the frequency into peridot. Peridot is an amazing third and fourth frequency stone. Basically is the analog frequency of chlorophyll, the frequency of growth. So it's a very positive third and fourth earth elemental stimulation that is very good for aspects of abundance and also increase in all manners. Since it is basically chlorophyll in a frequency format, it is good for applying as fertilizer to any endeavors, physically and just the enjoyment of positive life. This frequency is a little negative positive power of the green ray that is very, very uplifting. You think almost hummingbird energy with this kind of frequency. So that'd be the apex band, and this green ray focus that both stimulate the third and fourth have the same pathway stimulation, the third and fourth chakra activation. So it's the perfect antithesis to the high heart pink ray primary focus of this blade banding right here, running like so into this transmutation to ground and purify all the excess energy before it completes the circuit up to this apex band, which of course will be worn in alignment when in play, like so, on the chest, while this aspect of course runs laterally like so. So this of course apex will discharge the energy like so when being worn. Hence it's a critical placement to have a proper high dose focus at the very top. So that'd be just the LOVEShine blade banding scaffolding, if you would, where the current will run through to complete its circuit. Now we'll be getting into the blade facing. At the very apex of this core right here, underneath this Larimar is petrified lightning. Petrified lightning, or fulgurite, is a very powerful energy stimulant. So it carries the energy of lightning literally striking sand at the moment of the impact, catching that lightning frequency within the structure of the crystal, which is very, very powerful stimulation to the entire light body in all capacities. So you can think of every single chakra column being ignited in unison of a full light body activation, because it literally is the power of lightning caught in stone. And what's important with all that, as a quick disclaimer before I go further into the mineral composition descriptions, is that with the transmutation ratio and the stabilization ratio, which I will eventually get into, is critical to understand that all these components are part of a closed loop circuit that will basically stabilize and ground out all this energy in a harmonious output, which is very, very important to describe in great detail, which I'll take great pains over the next several minutes to do so. But back to the lightning. So the lightning also works as a very powerful accelerant to one's manifestation, because in First Nation tradition, a shaman or medicine woman would actually use these lightnings, particularly if it had a hole in it, like it does like so, which actually I ran silver wire through to ground to the primary wire, and take the intention of the prayer, blow through it, to put the energy back to the Creator, Spirit, Divine Source, to intensify their prayers. So of course that kind of legendary utilization is what we're catching right here, literally catching that lightning and putting it in this bottle right here. So that's fulgurite for you. And right above here is the lovely Larimar. It comes from one island in the Dominican Republic, and is quite the metaphysical powerhouse and quite in vogue in this timeline due to its obvious beautiful blue color, but also its metaphysical properties are quite extensive. It has a very nice stimulation to the 5th and 6th chakras, but from a fire and water perspective. So it's a very great emotional balancer and also a very powerful oasis of calm generator. So the frequency, by keeping one clear in their highest truth, is very, very inducing and calming to the mind, as well as one's truth, or the 5th chakra, which is what people tell themselves inside themselves on a daily basis. So it brings a very soothing frequency to the 5th chakra right there, and also is very excellent for voice projection and speaking the word with clarity. Obviously rather advantageous being a human. Being able to talk is kind of one of those prerequisites of a functional, healthy life. So obviously that helps assist with that in a soothing aspect and great deal. And to further soothe the energy up here is the lovely white scolecite. Scolecite is a fantastic wind elemental frequency stone that has a strong 6th and 7th and non-physical chakra all the way to the higher self template activation. It is very, very amazing for soothing and calming the mind as well. So of course you're getting a theme here that this LOVEShine is a very soothing frequency inducer to keep one in their highest configuration at all times, is the preface of the intention of this entire construct, which, like I said a few minutes ago, I'll take great pains to notarize every single component that works up to one equation of all these variables accounted for. Back to scolecite. Sorry, I apologize. Sometimes I digress. There's a lot to cover just in these kind of videos, so I will always circle back to what's relevant and what's most importantly in requirement of proper conveyance. So the scolecite, once again, is a lovely white ray stone of divinity, a very powerful crown third eye activator, but most importantly, it's a very soothing stimulation to the higher mind centers, and also is very encouraging to have the higher self contact patch ground through the conscious self, and to be in touch with that witness self perspective, seeing everything through the highest divine filter. And once again, inner peace frequency. Speaking of peace, up here, this is purple lepidolite. Just like kunzite, it's a high lithium-based stone with potassium in it, which makes a very, very calming vibration through the entire system. So the lithium is very soothing to the entire emotional body and nervous system, for that matter, as well as the physical body and muscles. And potassium, of course, helps with the grounding aspect. Hence, potassium utilization is very effective for defeating cramps. Same concept in a vibrational aspect right here of successfully grounding through the body. Lepidolite is a very much a extremely soothing, calming frequency as well, to further encourage the highest soothing perception of reality in that contact patch, and very complementary resonant frequency to the primary dose of kunzite, the lithium-based pink ray stone of divinity. Back over here, the lovely seraphinite. This stone is named after the seraphim archangelic realm, and is a very, very powerful stone in this timeline for the angelic imbuement of the auric field. So obviously it's a green ray stone that strongly affects the heart chakra to its highest configuration, but also, most importantly, stimulates the entire chakra column in unison. And most particularly, activates very clean, healing kundalini aspects. And also, seraphinite is perhaps one of the more powerful frequency inductions to dismantle patterns of dis-ease. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you name it, are all dismantled by this particular cohesion of the frequency of seraphinite. So it's a very powerful evolution stone, to put it lightly, and a very powerful master healing stone in all aspects, energetically, physically, mentally, spiritually. And it stimulates the entire chakra column in unison. And it's one of the more effective frequencies of really aligning the physical conscious self with the I am light body template chord. And also is very effective for dismantling any patterns in any of the chakra system individually that would be impeding the full light body activation process. So its criticality cannot be understated in its importance of such a powerful heart chakra activation. So, like I've digressed before, all these frequencies are terminated in one primary wire, so all aspects discussed here will be on one closed loop circuit for a whole vibrational output. Then moving on to this guy right here is Libyan gold tektite. Libyan gold tektite is a very powerful magical stone of ancient Egypt. It was actually a mysterious stone that is current science is still kind of out on the jury of its true origin, but I consider it a tektite, which is basically, just like moldavite, a product of a meteorite impacting the sand to vaporize the energy and catch that into stone, quite simply. Libyan gold tektite is a very powerful stimulant to the third and second chakras, so you consider it a fire elemental frequency generator with storm overtones, which means it also activates the entire chakra column and brings great amounts of illumination to the entire energy field as a whole. And a more practical aspect of Libyan gold tektite too, it's a very powerful solar plexus inducing manifestation frequency. Hence the pharaohs would actually use this as the central power breastplate they'd wear back in the day, have that carved into a scarab beetle, and be the central charge running their Egyptian god king regalia. So it's a very powerful stone for one's true motivations, and also I consider it to be a dharmic accelerant to really accelerate the manifestation of one's highest blueprint really realized to the conscious self in this 3D reality. Basically another aspect of putting the factory settings of the optimized idyllic etheric blueprint in action, in tangibility and practicality, by making that proper alignment to one's highest will in connection to creation, manifesting in reality. And to further complement that concept and accelerate that concept is the legendary moldavite right here. Moldavite is a very, very powerful green ray, high heart, cosmic source alignment frequency stone. And it's gaining quite notoriety in this timeline due to it being such a powerful transmutation into one's highest timeline that can be considered rather chaotic and can really traumatically dismantle the false self patterns that of one's life in a very drastic way that can seem almost violent. That can be, of course, construed to as being quite infamous in this timeline of people saying how this stone ruins their life, because in fact it ruins their entire false self matrix and puts them in alignment to their highest true reality in connection with creation. An analogy I like to use is to make an omelet, you gotta crack a few eggs. That guy definitely does that. And what's most important as a disclaimer in this entire construct is that with the transmutation ratio and all the stabilizations in here, that is actually designed to get the most out of this while mitigating and transmuting all the growing pains to expedite the process of transformation and to literally make it as comfortable as absolutely possible to be in one's divine alignment to mitigate the growing pains. That's one of the big prerogatives of this entire construct, which I will take great pains to describe. And once I get further up to where the hood will be, this will make more sense. Next to this legendary green moldavite is the classic turquoise. Turquoise is an amazing stone, favorites of millions for thousands of years for very good reason, because it takes the entire elemental spectrum of wholeness and focuses earth, fire, water, and wind, the four elements in combination, through the fifth chakra. So it's very much a stone of wholeness and pranic healing and also full emanation spectrum. Hence it's praised and utilization by both First Nation and shamans, and as well as the Magi Pharaohic wizard caste, who is highly notarized for its extremely magical properties. Not to mention it's a very beautiful stone by itself. And speaking of another stone, millions of fans with thousands of years, is lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is a classic stone of Egypt, very well recognized to be the frequency of Isis, the great goddess, and is also one of the more powerful stones in this timeline for activating latent psychic capacities of the fifth and sixth chakras in unison, as well as past life recall and any other psychic gifts that are latent in the host operating system of the candidate of this device. And to really basically be in one's true sovereignty, or highest truth, is one of the aspects lapis is critical in this construct, to ensure that the one is empowered in who they really are as they go about their journey of life. Alrighty, so getting right into this section, which I will explain in great detail for its priority of necessity, is critical. This right here is red jasper, a very humble, simple stone, but yet quite effective for stabilizing the root chakra. So red jasper has been utilized for thousands of years as well, and it's quite underrated because it's not exactly one of those high vibe stones of notoriety, but is tremendously effective for doing its amazing job of stabilizing the energy of the root chakra. Having a stabilized red ray root is obviously a more stabilized vibratory output in life, and so having the stabilized root is quite advantageous for the in-the-body experience, so to speak, and to also draw upon physical strength and be more rooted into one's convictions and beliefs and strong within inner strength, so to speak. And to further extend to that, we'll be switching to the fire element, fire agate. This stone right here is an impeccable representation of the fire element in the most stabilized format available to me in the mineral kingdom. Fire agate simulates the base, sacrum, and solar plexus in great tandem and stabilizes it, most importantly, those lower three chakras. So that's very much the zest for life, enthusiastic in the body experience once again, and having a properly functional lower three for all the high vibration energy is very, very useful, because like I always say, you can't have the rainbow with just the color purple. All these chakra columns need to be represented in spectrum balance with obviously the high concentration of love, but this is where this answer to this contingency comes more further into play with the stabilization ratio of the agates and jaspers in tandem. Pardon my digressions once again. So switching from fire to water. So this is moss green agate, a very powerful stabilization of the fourth chakra, which of course under those stabilized conditions can also be a very powerful stabilization to the factory blueprints of the heart chakra at the ideal configuration before imprintations and societal beliefs impact the system and can basically like malware that corrupts the field's vibratory output. Then another water elemental stabilizer is blue lace agate. Blue lace agate is an amazing 5th chakra stabilizer. So that's very advantageous to have a stabilized 5th chakra to speak one's truth very clearly, and also to be another aspect to really stabilize and calm the mind to the highest capacity is blue lace agate, and to speak one's soul's wisdom with grace and stability. Very effective. So of course that combines earth, fire, water in the stabilized spectrums. On the back side, where'd it go? Well, I'm glad I discovered that. Right here, actually, there was a very small piece of holly blue agate that I must have not faceted enough, which will be attended to after this video. Holly blue agate, which is supposed to be right here, is a purple ray stabilizer that comes from one mine in northern Oregon that is purple, so it stabilizes the wind elements of 6 and 7. So obviously the stabilized higher mind centers are quite advantageous and self-evident in the spiritual path. To be stable in one's mind and thoughts and aspects of the full elemental spectrum is quite critical. And I promise that will be addressed after this video is concluded. Okay. This guy right here is the lovely black shungite, another stone that's quite in vogue in this timeline due to its notoriety to successfully mitigate EMF 5G waves very effectively. It's a carbon-based filter purifier frequency, which is attached to this broadcast, which of course runs on a circuit, and is a lovely way to take all incoming energy, transmute, purify it, and most importantly, discharge it into the earth before it actually sticks to the field. That is one of the advantages of the black ray stones in general, is to make a strong contact patch so any negativity internally, externally has a constant safe bypass to not stick to the system like a third Teflon once again. And over here, speaking of black ray stones, this is lovely black tektite. This is the product of a nickel-iron meteorite impacting sand containing the cosmic jolt of extraterrestrial energy into the 3D plane. So, why that's very advantageous is that it's a black ray cosmic jolt stone, as I fondly put it, that has a very strong stimulation from the earth up. So it's a very powerful higher frequency generator, but most importantly, the advantage is having the earth stars ignite from the bottom of the feet all the way up to chakra calm, which is the full light body activation as well from a more grounded black ray pragmatic earth band trajectory. So that's another stone that will really intensify the vibratory strength of this entire device, most importantly from the ground up, and just increase the vibrations as a whole together in unison. This right here is a lovely piece of star argonite. Star argonite is an amazing master healer stone also, based on it being a calcium-based full light body activator. So you can think of any chakra configuration, all the meridians in tandem, being cleared and optimized by this one frequency by itself. So what that means also, it's another way to clear any impediments on any level from the entire chakra column that be impeding the full light body activation, or the ideal crystalline blueprint manifest on the conscious self. Then right here is the lovely ruby and zoisite. So ruby by itself is the most prominent, powerful stimulant to the red ray in the mineral kingdom, hence it's quite the stone of precious notoriety and a stone of great antiquity utilization from all the aspects of the magical royalty, patriarch, matriarch lines. Ruby was a world-famous powerhouse for a very good reason. It's a very powerful red ray induction frequency. It's quite passionate and very empowering and strengthening by connecting the ideal red ray template to the root chakra, which grounds us into the earth also in that capacity. What's very nice about this synergistic combination is that it's also grown in something called zoisite. Zoisite is a green ray stone that has perhaps one of the more impeccable heart-mind coherence engagements in the mineral kingdom. To successfully combine the knowing of the heart with the wisdom of the mind in that circuit is arguably one of the more, I guess you could say, important quests to categorize it for the spiritual quest. When one's in their true heart knowing without the electromagnetic interference of the mind and false self-imprintations, that's really the true grail manifestation, is to really be in touch with that heart-mind coherence in the connection of creation. So when you take the combination of the heart-mind coherence with ruby growing into it, makes a very powerful dynamic engagement of the third eye, the heart, and the base chakra, which is a very powerful trinity to have dynamic positive change to one's highest self blueprint. So quite the lovely stone right there. I described all the agates, and we'll definitely replace that holly blue right after this video and make sure it's triply secured so it doesn't ever happen again. And also, of course, this will have a white leather hood installed, which will serve as a color therapy aspect of having white being the unification of the 7 rays. It will also be a slight insulation to kind of condense the energy a little bit from this entire section, as well as a protection for all the subtle stones stacked like so that could be quite precarious under wearing circumstances that are not as fortified as the blade face, for example. Hence, somehow, some way, before this description was filmed, I'm missing a stone. So that will have a white hood over it, basically. And this right here is golden healer quartz. This would be the primary engine, if you would, or at least one of them at the very apex of the device. That is a very powerful gold white light Christ frequency activator, puts our hearts in touch with the great central sun of creation. A very advantageous aspect. So obviously having that in great prominence of having that direct Christ frequency emanation connection puts the entire platform into the sphere of the conscious selves of this wielder in touch with their complete connection to creation. That's why it's a primary aspect of this design right here, to have that ignition sequence be at a very critical junction right here. Also in full exposure, so that it can be always utilized as a talisman to connect to the source of creation, quite simply. Okay, so last but not least, the core of the wood itself is actually oak. Oak is a very strong, dense atomical structure. Also, it's from my lovely backyard. Oak is, of course, a wood of great notoriety by druids and all aspects of mystery schools, and a wood of heroes and kings. It has great legend in the human story, so to speak. And it makes a very lovely, strengthening atomical platform. Since oak is strong, it's a carbon-based resonant frequency like our physical avatars. It makes that strength the platform of this entire platform right here. Alrighty. So next to the oak right there is selenite. Selenite is really an amazing stone to utilize in all constructs. I'd say 99% of light tag that passes through my hands always has an element of selenite for a very critical reason. Selenite by itself is a lovely 6th and 7th and non-physical chakra alignment frequency all the way to the higher self continuity patch, or the godhead of the conscious self of the wielder. And will also purify any densities through the entire field from top to bottom by itself. But what makes selenite particularly impressive in a construct is that it will take this entire frequency pitch of everything I've discussed thus far. It will harmonize, purify, and amplify them together. So when you have the trifecta of purifying the entire construct at a constant ratio through the selenite, amplifying them all, and harmonizing them all together is quite the tremendous trifecta of an effective energy tool. So now that's the aspect of selenite, which is a lovely stone of extreme purification, amplification, and harmonization of all 4 mentioned frequencies in one circuit. Then next to that selenite is the kyanite spectrums of black, green, orange, and blue. Black kyanite is amazing grounder of energy. So another preface too for kyanites is they're the most rapid transference of energies in the mineral kingdom. Hence they're critical for successful transferences of energy. So this section will be a little wordy and meta as I discuss these aspects. So just a little preface and a little disclaimer, kind of get your tinfoil hat ready. Black kyanite rapidly transfers the energy through the root chakra into the earth stars, into their meridian mixture process very quickly. Green kyanite rapidly transfers the energies through the heart chakra, receptive, projective in both aspects to the heart of creation very quickly. Orange kyanite rapidly bridges the sacrum to its highest configuration in alignment with its astral self-configuration, and rapidly intensifies imagination as well as the manifestation ratio of imagining something into being, so to speak. Blue kyanite is very powerful for neural pathway recalibrations, the highest configuration of both the left and right hemispheres, and to have the optimum psychic capacity activator. So that's the 4 aspects of kyanite individually described, but another aspect of kyanite is very powerful for building bridges of energy. So you can think of, as a relevant example, let's say the wielder of the device is wearing this device and there's another person they're talking to, and they're not quite seeing eye to eye. The frequency pitch is not quite lining up correctly for harmonious energy exchange or communication, if you would. So kyanites rapidly harmonize and bridge the energy between 2 opposing parties to have a neutral, clear ground. This is an aspect that I criminally underrate about the capacity of kyanite in this practical, real-life situation, which I'm doing my best to amend right now in my further videos. So that kyanite makes a very fantastic alignment, as well as a diplomatic frequency aligner to the other party to have full coherent energy connection. Which also means, in more practical, passive, protective format, is that the energy transfer running so quickly through the kyanite through its entire structure will also ensure that any aspects of incoming negativity gets quickly dismantled, discharged, and diffused before it sticks to the system. So you can think of another aspect of another layer of a third Teflon, so no negativity incoming to the system can really stick to the field and it can stay in its optimized, perfected platform. Okay, well, I believe that is all the crystals well notarized at this point. So in summary, this LOVEShine platform, like many others before it in distribution, is designed to be a very powerful pink ray heart frequency overlap generator to have the emanation of one's true divine love contact patch being the dominant vibration. And that aspect too is quite advantageous in all aspects of life. And to do so with full cosmic activation, full grounding, full stability, and full divine heart union is the goal of this device, and to do so in style. Well, I believe that be the conclusion of this entirety of this video. 1,000 blessings, and may the force be with us all.